Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Jake and Justin in the morning. Hope you are all doing well. Our special guest is from a sports media club again. She will be the president next year. Molly Jacob. Molly, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm really looking forward to discussing what we love today, which is sports.
Yes, good. I'm very excited too. Molly, what did you have for breakfast?
For brec, I made scrambled eggs with spinach and an apple.
All right.
That's normally my go-to every morning.
That's respectable.
Yeah, I have like a spinach omelet and then some sort of fruit. It kind of changes with the seasons on what fruit it is.
Justin, what about you?
For breakfast I had, the classic ham and cheese sandwich because I'm kosher. And then, but currently right now, I'm also trying to, after a long day, having some espresso, some double shot espresso and cream to get me, caffeinated and get me going. But Jake,
You're gonna be up
doesn't
all
get
night.
me going? What's up?
You're gonna be up all night.
No, not even close. But Jake, you want to know what doesn't get me going? People not filling out the guest form. What the hell are y'all doing? I put that link in all the time and nobody fills it out. So we're gonna up the stakes here, okay? If a guest, just one, fills out the guest form, I will eat on broadcast an entire bowl of multigrain Cheerios.
People, please fill it out. I want to see this. And as for what I had for breakfast, I had a plain bagel with cream cheese and some medium-sized mini pancakes.
Ooh.
All right. Anyway, y'all, we have a great show for you today. Fill out the guest form so then I can eat an entire bowl of multigrain Cheerios on the podcast and cry about it every single time while I'm talking about the Jets failing me once again. Let's get started.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, so first things first, if you haven't heard, the Yankees once again like to do stupid things. And
you know what I said? Oh, go ahead. I'll let you talk.
So the Yankees, what they decided to do was, for some reason, which really caught me by surprise, they made the idea to keep Aaron Boone. I'm not sure what for, but Molly, I know you are a Yankee fan. I tolerate the Yankees as I also tolerate the Mets. So what do you think about this, Molly? You think it was a smart move or just really, really stupid?
Listen, I have faith in my teams no matter what decision they're making, but right when I saw that Aaron Boone was staying, I said to myself, okay, so New York doesn't want to be a winning sports industry anymore. Clearly we're falling off in every aspect. But I don't think it was a good decision. However, the Yankees are making a lot of decisions lately. They fired the first base coach, the third base coach, our hitting coach. So there's going to be a lot of reworking in all aspects of the field. So maybe this will bring out a better side in Aaron Boone, and maybe it'll bring out a better side in Cashman. That's just something we'll have to wait for when the season comes. But personally, I don't like Aaron Boone. I don't like his attitude. I don't like how he's really. I don't think he has the love for the team like past coaches have, or managers. So I want to hear what you guys have to say about it.
Okay. The New York Yankees. If you're a New York Yankee fan, you should be embarrassed to be a fan of the New York Yankees. Okay. Aaron Boone is one of the biggest idiots on the planet. The guy has no sense of. He does not know how to make a pitching change for his life. His in-game adjustments are horrible. All right, to win in New York, if you want to win in New York, you got to have some balls. Aaron Boone has zero cojones, okay? Zero. He has no guts. He has no idea what he might. Justin, can't believe I said that. This guy has no guts. This guy is incredibly soft. You got to be tough-nailed to coach in New York, and he is super soft. I mean, I'm not a Mets fan, so I thought this was kind of hilarious. I'm a Mets fan. I thought it was hilarious. But, even I'm tired of his press conferences. After they lose, we had some good swings. That's phenomenal. I used to play baseball. I had good swings every time I came to the plate. I'm not in the MLB. I mean, so like his press conferences are just terrible. The guy is just not good enough. This guy has had a World Series winning roster 4 years in a row, and he has not gotten past Game 6 of the American League Championship Series. I guess for the next 2 or 3 years, the Yankees are just going to be mediocre. They're going to be, 89, 90, 91 wins. Maybe they crawl to a wild card and lose in the wild card game. But as long as Aaron Boone's the manager, the New York Yankees cannot exceed expectations, which for the New York Yankees is win a championship. They just won't with Aaron Boone.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I like the Yankees. I went to see them at Yankee Stadium. I thought I like that team. I like the players on that team, except for Giancarlo Stanton and Gary Sanchez. But aside from those players, I do like that team. But I do think a manager like Aaron Boone, I don't find him to be a respected manager. Excuse me. I don't find him to be a respectable manager. Because you're right, he is a joke. Also, he's a bit of a hothead too. I mean, you see him in the dugout, he's pissed off all the time. But I didn't think he was good when he came in for the Yankees, and I thought this season, this season in general, after losing to the Red Sox the wild card, I thought he was going. I'm not surprised, Molly, that the third base coach left because that call in the wild card to call Aaron Judge to run to home is possibly one of the dumbest baseball calls I've ever seen. It really
and I was listening to the Fan the next morning, and Boomer Esiason was like, in the heat of the moment, it's a big game, you're making a big decision. They understood why they would let Aaron Judge run home, but it was very idiotic.
Yeah. And on top of that, you're down 3-1. If you were up 3-1, I make the risk and go for it. But you're down 3-1. It was stupid. But aside from that, I just would have thought Aaron Boone would have left as well because you look at this team and you could see one of the main problems, and I would say he's probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, problem on the New York Yankees. I wish them the best, but just like Jake said, I do not think they're going to succeed one bit with Aaron Boone. I really don't.
I agree.
Yeah, just interesting all season for New York baseball. Both teams are probably going to be a lot of change. I mean, the Yankees already cleaned most of their coaching staff, like you said, Mo. Pretty much all the assistants are gone. I think the bench coach might still be there, and the pitching coach is still there, Matt Blake. But everyone else most of their coaching staff is gone. And, the Yankees definitely need another starter. They're going to need some bats. They got to get a new catcher. Gary Sanchez is terrible. They got to figure out what happens at first base. Does Voit stay? Does Voit go after the season he had? Anthony Rizzo's a free agent. Joey Gallo was terrible after coming over. Does he stay? Does he go? Do they bring in a center fielder? Does Gleyber Torres stay or go? Does G. Urshela stay or go? So there's a lot of decisions. And, obviously the Mets as well will probably going to, they need a new manager and a new GM, and they're going to probably make some player moves.
And I don't think Aaron Judge is going to get any better either. If he were to get traded, I don't know. I feel like it might not be a bad idea.
I mean, think about it. If Aaron Judge wants a 6 or 7 year deal for close to $200 million, the guy's has had 2 seasons where he's been fully healthy, and though when he has, he's been outstanding. I mean, can you risk giving him that money? You can't risk giving him that money for the guy for the next 5 years to play 100 games a season. But the problem is, because he's only a year away from free agency, if you're not going to pay him, you have to trade him.
Mm-hmm.
But no matter what they get back, this is a team that barely made the playoffs is now going to get significantly worse. So, I mean, honestly, I'm starting to think that Aaron Boone hitting the walk-off home run in Game 7 of the pennant was the worst thing to ever happen to the franchise. Without that, he would have never been a managerial candidate.
True. All right. Moving on. Let's talk about the NFL. So sadly, we are almost halfway through the NFL season. We're getting close to it. What are we on now? Week 7? We're on week 7 now, right? So So if we were having the 16-game season, we're going to be about halfway, but still, even though they do have 17, the biggest season ever. By the way, I don't buy that. I just want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that real quick. The NFL is hyping up the biggest season ever way too much. If it was now 25 games, then I'd say it. But adding an extra game, big deal. And these players need to stop complaining because they're getting paid what, $500,000 a game. Play another game, dude. You're getting paid $20 million a year. Just play. All right. But anyway, because we're halfway through the season, I will start with you, Molly. What are your biggest surprise? What are the biggest surprises for you of the NFL season so far?
I think it's safe to say Trayvon Diggs. He was phenomenal in last week's performance. It was amazing to watch him. And going into this season, the Cowboys defense was supposed to be weak, and he is just lighting it up. He has 7 interceptions, 21 solo tackles. I mean, he's really showing up for himself, and he's doubled his stats since his rookie season last year. So I think he's doing great things for the Cowboys. I'm sure Dak Prescott really appreciates it. Speaking of defenses, the Chiefs defense is atrocious. They went from being the top 15th defense in the NFL to the last. I don't know what Steve Spagnuolo is going to do to bring them out of last place in the AFC West, but it's got to be something because I don't think they're even going to make the playoffs. I think in week 5, the stats were they've allowed like 163 points to be scored against them and like over 2,100 yards. Like it's insane because this is a team that experts were saying were going to be a Super Bowl contender before the season even started. And then shit just hit the bed. Like it was insane. So that's probably the biggest things that are surprising me and that I think about week to week. And obviously you guys know I'm a diehard Giants fan. They're a surprise every year to me, to see our team fall apart like that, it really hurts. Do I think Daniel Jones is doing well? Yes, I do. And I know you might disagree, but I think he's doing really well. And it's for him to be our leading rusher in like the first 3 weeks is really impressive. And do I think Saquon Barkley deserves a better team? Yes. I don't think he should be in New York.
Saquon sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just don't really believe in Saquon anymore. He's injury prone. He's not showing up for himself. I mean, granted, he does deserve a better offensive line, but still, like, he's not the way he used to be. And I think that's because of the injuries. So what do you guys have to say?
As for the Giants, I think Daniel Jones, do I think he is absolutely horrible? No, I do not think he'll be a horrible quarterback. I think he will be a decent quarterback, but I do not think he's a franchise quarterback. And the problem is the Giants drafted him to be a franchise quarterback. They passed on 2 franchise quarterbacks in Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson in 2018 or whatever year it was, 2018, to take Saquon Barkley, a running back, which I still can't believe it to go a running back that high. You cannot take a running back that high. They don't, no matter how talented. I mean, Saquon's a special talent, even if like he wasn't having injury problems. Running backs, yeah, but by the time I hit 28, 29, 30 years old, their careers are almost over. They take so many hits. You can't take a running back that high. And you took Daniel Jones at 6. That's just a major reach. I mean, he's not a franchise quarterback. I mean, I could see it. He's not accurate enough. He doesn't make the big throws, and I don't think he's bad. Like you said, like he's had a lot of injuries. The line's depleted. It's horrible. Barkley's hurt. His receivers are out. He's held his own for what he's been up against, but I still think he's a franchise quarterback. As for the biggest surprises this year, the Arizona Cardinals, I like what they did this offseason. I predicted they would be in the playoffs this year, but my goodness, 6-0. Their offense is absolutely unstoppable. Kyler's an MVP candidate. DeAndre Hopkins doing DeAndre Hopkins things. Rondell Moore's having a good rookie year. Christian Kirk's having the best year of his career. AJ Green showing he's still got it. And they brought in Zach Ertz, who's a 3-time Pro Bowler. Murray's getting good protection. Cliff Kingsbury's proving himself. And give credit to the defense. The defense has actually been very good. It's a defense that last year was kind of okay. Obviously they brought in J.J. Watt. They got Kara Jones there. They got Buda Baker there. But also, you gotta remember, Jordan Hicks, they've, clearly isn't happy there. They took him out of the rotation. Malcolm Butler, who's a very good cover corner, retired like right before the year. He's got some personal issues, so he's retired for now, probably for at least the season. And they've been probably a top 10 unit. They've been really, really good. So I think Arizona has probably been the biggest surprise when it comes to how good a team has been. I mean, I think a lot of people thought they'd be decent. I just think because of how hard the division is, they thought might just not be good enough to make the playoffs. But they might win the division now. They are unstoppable. As for the teams that have been like surprising and how like disappointing, I mean, I knew the Giants were going to be terrible. I definitely knew the Jets were going to be terrible. The difference is, the Giants have had some good seasons, so it's a bit of a surprise. Jets just not a surprise. The Browns have been very disappointing, only 3-3. Their defense has not been as good as I thought. Obviously, Baker's banged up. They got some injuries now. What's going on with the Chiefs? I mean, like you said, Molly, their defense is atrocious. It is so bad. I don't know whose defense is worse, them or Seattle's defense. I think Kansas City's got the worst D in the league. And as bad as defense has been, Mahomes has turned the ball over. Part of it is just because, he's trying to win the game because defense is giving up 30 points before he even takes the field, it feels like. But, Mahomes has turned the ball over, uncharacteristically. He's had a couple throws that it's just unnecessary. He had, he had one against the Bills, not the pick six. That was off Hill's hands, but the one that was deflected, he threw it right to the guy. He had one last week he looked like Jameis Winston on one of them. So the Chiefs, who I thought were going to win the Super Bowl this year, they were my pick. They might not even make the playoffs.
All right. So, yeah, there are a couple surprises. Yeah, as both of you said, the Chiefs have been a bit of a disappointment this year, not just on the defense especially, but also Mahomes hasn't been playing as good as he has, last year or even, his Super Bowl winning season. But I still have faith in him. I still think he's going to be I think he's still very, very good. I think he will bounce back in the second half. But, they got to step it up on that defense, like you guys said. One team, though, that I find is the biggest surprise is actually the Chargers, because the Chargers are right now 4-2, and you can't make the argument unlike people did, unlike with the Panthers or the Broncos, and they went 3-0 at the beginning, that they're playing crap teams, because they're not, because they were playing the Raiders, they played the Chiefs, they played the Browns. Those are tough teams to play against, and they won. And on top of that, they didn't make these giant off-season moves to where you'd think this is it for the Chargers. Here we go. Here comes the champions. Right now, I am considering. I think Justin Herbert is the front runner for MVP. He is so good. He really is.
My fantasy quarterback.
He is hitting. If this is not his prime right now, I want to see what is, because it's gonna look really freaking scary once he hits his prime. His deep ball passing is insane. He's a pretty good scrambler. He can do it all. He really can. And I would say that they have a very, very good shot in the Super Bowl off the back, in the playoffs, I say, not necessarily the Super Bowl right now. I'm not sure. I need to see them play a few more teams for me to say that they could potentially make it. But I could see them make the playoffs, especially with the duo of Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen, because those two those two together, that combination is just unstoppable.
Shout out to the Miami Dolphins fans. Just so you know, you guys, you passed on Herbert for a guy who is coming off major hip surgery. He had surgery in high school and in college, and now the Dolphins are considering trading him for a guy that is being accused by 22 different women of sexual assault. So good job, Dolphins.
Yeah. All right. Okay. It's all right. Next topic. Let's go. So
that is all I have for you guys today, because I have to head out. But thank you so much for having me. It was great to be here. I will 100% be back.
All right. You know what we should do one day? We should put on both the Giants fans versus both the Jets fans. So it's me and Jake, and then you and Robbie
Yes,
on
let's do
here
it.
for the Jets and Giants fans coming together. To have a podcast. That would be great. Maybe
That'd be
probably
fun.
schedule that. Yep.
All right. Well, you
Yep.
guys have fun. Thank you for having
All
me.
right. All right. Bye, Molly.
Bye, guys.
Of course, Molly. Thanks for coming on.
Of course.
All right. Thank you, Molly, for coming on. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. I cannot wait to see what she does as the Sports Media Club president, because she is going to be great. Very smart, knows her stuff about sports. Not necessarily sure how much I agree about the Giants, but it's nonetheless great person. So anyway, NHL season has started. I know Jake's excited. I know I'm excited, even though the NBA season just started, which we're probably going to talk about next, because I'm definitely excited about that. I sat through a few months down basketball. It's back on, so I'm ready for that. But the NHL season has started, so let's do a NHL season preview. So Jake, take it away.
All right, so a lot of things happening. NHL is a little different than other sports. That for your, pretty much every year there's no real like super team. Obviously, last few years in the NBA, from when Golden State had their run, there was always basically 4 or 5 teams that were going to go over a championship, and everyone else would have a shot. NHL is pretty much balanced every year. So obviously, Tampa Bay Lightning, they are the 2-time defending champs. I would say they probably got the best team. They lost a couple of pieces because they were $18 million over the salary cap, so they kind of had to make a couple moves. They lost Yanni Gordon in the expansion draft. They were able to trade Tyler Johnson away, get rid of his contract, but they still are very, very deep offensively and defensively because they got the best goalie in the world, I would say, in Vasilevsky. I would say that they're probably the best. Vegas is really good this year. Also, we got the new team, Seattle Kraken, who don't look too bad. I don't know what their record is, but their team, I think they could be pretty competitive. They won't go to the cup like Vegas did in their first year, but they could be competitive. I think they can compete for a playoff spot. I think my Rangers look good. They got a lot of young players, but they added some toughness. They brought in, Barclay Goodrow, Ryan Reeves, Tenorti, and Patrick Nemeth on defense. So I think they can get in the playoffs because and then you have the veteran stars like Chris Kreider, Mika Zibanejad, and Artemi Panarin. Justin, I know you're a Kings fan now. I know you like the Kings.
I don't know.
I know your dad's he's partners with them, so of course we kind of got to root for them a little bit. They've struggled since their cups, but they did make a couple moves this offseason. I think they look better. I think they'll compete for a playoff spot at the very least. I think they may have a shot of sneaking in. So we shall see. Our teams will look good. Colorado Avalanche look very good. They'll probably have a top team. The Boston Bruins do look good. That being said, it is Boston, so they'll probably lose in the first round of the playoffs again. So we'll see where that goes. It'll be interesting, but I think Tampa definitely has the best team. I would say Vegas and Colorado are the top 2 in the West. There's a lot of other very good teams. Carolina Hurricanes are very good. I think the Oilers look pretty good, but it is the Oilers. I mean, by the way, I think I just got word the Toronto Maple Leafs have lost in the first round already. Class hasn't even started. Let's get that out of the way. I mean, they haven't won a playoff series in I saw a stat one time that the Atlanta Thrashers have more playoff series wins than the Maple Leafs since a certain year, and that year was the year that the Atlanta Thrashers were no longer a team. That's how bad Toronto is, but yeah, there's a lot of very good teams in the NHL. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty exciting season. Yes, as you guys heard, I am a Kings fan. I am a Kings supporter. I'm rooting for the Kings. I'm also rooting for the New Jersey Devils, of course, in Prudential. I got 2 teams now. All I just got to say is this, because Jake, I can't explain any better than you did. You just did it way too well, but I'm going to explain this. Jake, you know damn well that the Rangers cannot win a game because they have a spread to cover for Jim Dolan. That's why they need to cover some kind of spread. They cannot go over it. Because here's the thing, they're supposed to lose, but only by a certain amount of points. So then they could cover that spread, so then Jim Dolan gets money. So every time they win, Jim Dolan's losing money. So I'm not sure if that's even more of a motivator for the Rangers to win, or if it's just, or maybe that's why Jim Dolan just cut his entire front office last year, because he's like, wait a second, you guys are starting to win games. Hold up, I'm losing money now.
Can't have that.
Yeah. He's got to cover the spread. You guys got to cover the spread for him. So go Kings, go Devils. Obviously, I'll be getting my Kings beanie in the winter to flex when they get a positive record, and then they make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, because they're already 82-0 right now, even though the record says 1-2. Which is a lie, by the way. Google's wrong. The NHL is wrong for that one. They are clearly 82-0. And they already won the Stanley Cup. They're just giving other teams, a chance to maybe try to get it as well. So I wouldn't really try anyway else, because the Kings, they already took on the Stanley Cup. It's that it's they're already having the ticker tape parade, and it's and LA is holding the trophy in Los Angeles. Maybe next time Jersey. Anyway, now let's move on to the NBA, because as I said, the NBA just opened. NBA season just started. First things first, before we talk about what we're going to talk about beginning, Jake, what did you think about the first two games? Because we had the Bucks and the Nets to start, obviously the reigning champions versus the Nets, who got dropped off in game 7 because Kevin Durant's foot was too big. And then we also had the Lakers play the Warriors, the classic battle of California. So what'd you think about those two games before we go into our main topic?
All right. Only one game. I'm not sure if it decides to come, but if it is, then Kyrie's got to get the shot, all right? Brooklyn can't win a championship without Kyrie. Kevin Durant and James Harden, that is a fearsome duo. They got some other good players, but they cannot win a championship without him, it seems. Milwaukee looks really, really good with Giannis, Drew Holiday, and Chris Middleton. They got some other good players too. Brook Lopez is a great defender. They look really good. For Lakers, Warriors, even though they're without Clay, they look very good. Steph looked great. They got Andrew Wiggins, James Wiseman's very talented. If they can get Clay back a little bit sooner rather than later, I'm hearing December-ish for him probably. That could be a team that will probably be top 5 in the West. As for the Lakers, I mean, whenever LeBron loses, it makes me smile. I think they're just too old, okay? I really think they're just too goddamn old. They're the oldest team in the league by a significant margin. LeBron is still a top 3 player in the game, I would say. But he is not the all-out, top player that he once was. Anthony Davis is a great player, too. He's top 5, I would say, in the league. Russell Westbrook looked terrible. He looked out of place. He just did not look good. He was like 3 of 15 or something. He had like 8 points. He looked terrible, and just the rest of the guys. I mean, with, Rajon Rondo and Melo, these guys are just past their prime. I don't think they can win a championship either. I think they're just too dang old. And so I think it's this year, champion will probably be a little bit of a younger team like Milwaukee or Phoenix or something like that.
All right. So we got about 10 minutes left on this Zoom recording for some reason, but so now we got to speed run this as we did before, which everybody loved, by the way. Nobody told me that, but I know everybody loved it. The biggest thing that happened before even the opener started was that Ben Simmons was suspended for the game opener for conduct detrimental to the team. My God, this guy's such a. I'm not gonna curse. This is children. This is for 14 plus. We don't want to get people nuts. But still, it's ridiculous. He is having some kind of nervous breakdown or some kind of prima donna moment that I just can't even fathom. Jake, what do you think about this?
Ben Simmons is a horrendous human being. I cannot stand this guy. This is like this reminds me of it's like the high school kids trying to figure out who they're gonna go to the prom with. Oh, I want to go with this girl, but oh, she's going with this guy. Like it's like a high school drama almost. Like this is ridiculous. Ben Simmons is a grown man. They're paying you $40 million, probably most overpaid player in the league, to play defense. They know you can't shoot a jumper. Like, grow up, dude. And now your back hurts? Big deal. My back hurts too. Big deal. This guy needs to grow up. He needs to grow a pair, and he needs to grow up. And I think both sides should probably work towards a trade because they need a freaking divorce.
Yeah, I already had my quick rant about Ben Simmons, but here's the thing. Ben Simmons is acting like that team still wants him. Guess what, dude? They don't. They really don't. You suck. You suck. It's that that simple. Anything 2 inches near the rim, you just can't shoot at all. You don't have a mid-range jumper. As a point guard, how do you not have a 3-point shot? As a point guard, man, you need a 3-point shot, especially in this in this league. Giannis and Anthony Davis can do it, and they're power forwards. They're not supposed to do that, but they do. So but at the end of the day, you are part of a team, and you all want to win. So suck it up, grow up, and deal with it. Come on, Ben Simmons. But anyway, just like I hate to see that, it's time for You Hate to See It. All right, Jake, what do you got for me? Let me see.
All right, here we go. Let's just share my screen. Let's start over here. All right, so the Knicks won a thriller in double overtime against the Celtics. This was in double overtime. Justin knows what's coming. So this is what happened. So let me just turn the volume down a little bit. Jaylen Brown steals the ball. All right, so he's going in for a dunk, wide open dunk. Oh my goodness. Misses a wide open dunk. Justin, how much do you hate to see it?
Oh, dude, I'm going to have to give it like a 10 out of 10. I mean, Jaylen Brown did have a good game. He scored like almost 50 points. So I am impressed by him with that. But you can't miss this, especially in a game opener. And you got to put on a show in the Garden. And you can't miss a dunk like that. I mean, that's like Daniel House stuff. Seriously, man. Like he's just, that's just terrible. Yeah, 10 out of 10. I do not like seeing that at all.
I'll go with 8 out of 10 because it come help the Knicks win, and I love the Knicks. 3 minutes left, up by 1, double overtime against a playoff team like the Knicks. Can't do that, dude. That was so fun to watch. 8 out of 10. All right. All right. This is actually a WNBA story. So, the Chicago Sky beat the Phoenix Mercury in WNBA Finals. Diana Taurasi, who's one of the greatest women's basketball players of all time, a star player for Phoenix Mercury. She got really mad after they lost game 4 and she punched a door and it broke. So the Chicago Sky brought the door to the parade. That is the door that Diana Taurasi broke. They brought it to the parade with them. How much do you hate to see that they literally brought a broken door to the parade?
You know what? I'm going to give that also. I'm going to give that a 1 out of 10 because I love to see it. In esports, we have a little term that we call BM, which stands for bad mannered. And this is basically it. You're showing, you're kind of, that is savage. That is amazing. And that's why I can't hate to see it. I just can't. It's so good. It's so freaking good. I love to see that kind of stuff there. So 1 out of 10. Love to see it.
I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10. I also love to see it. Honestly, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. 2 out of 10. I kind of love to see it too. And my last one. All right. So in the Pelicans-Sixers game that Benson was suspended for, the Pelicans fans were chanting, "Where's Ben Simmons? Where's Ben Simmons?" Justin, how much do you hate to see it?
We got 2 minutes left, so I got to make this quick. 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. I don't actually no. 9 out of 10. I do hate to see it, but for a different reason. Because Pelicans, where's Zion? Where's Zion, dude? Where is he? It's because honestly, if it's any other team, I would have found it funny. But because the Pelicans fans are doing, it's like, dude, where's your star player? Where's your next LeBron James? I don't know where he is. So 9 out of 10. I hate to see it.
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because like their star player is out also, and also honestly the Pelicans, you should probably be happy that he wasn't there. I mean, you lost, but you had a better chance to win with him not being there probably. Or actually, no, it's the other way around. So I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Yeah, the Sixers are better without him. 10 out of 10. All right,
Jake. 1 minute left. Jake, who's your athlete of the week?
My athlete of the week, I'm going to make a change. It is the Sacred Heart University esports team. Justin, congratulations on your win. Justin's on the esports team. His team is now 3-3. Keep up the good work. You guys are doing great.
Yeah, you know, I was actually going to give myself athlete of the week as well for that because we just broke a 3-game L streak that we were on. But you know what? I also have to hand it over to the New York Knicks for winning a game in double overtime on their season opener. What a performance from them. I want to see it more of it. Evan Fournier, great pickup. Kemba Walker, great pickup. Everybody played really, really well all that game. I hope to see more of it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. You know, like and subscribe. Fill out the guest form because remember, I will eat a bowl of multigrain Cheerios of at least